Hi, I'm glad you could join me again today. It's a fantastic day and I hope it's the same for you. In this episode, I'll give you my ranking of all the Harry Potter movies. I just finished watching all 8 Harry Potter movies with my family. It was the first time for my daughter watching them in one session. And yeah, I'll give you my ranking list. This only includes the 8 movies out of the Harry Potter saga, so there are no tie-in or spin-off movies included here. And before I get started, I really love the Harry Potter movies. I read the books when they came out before the movies even were a thing. And I watched almost all movies in theater back then on day one. I really enjoyed the whole Harry Potter saga. What I love the most about it is the combination of murder mystery, and fantasy world. Like, this combination is really cool and really engaging, and it's thrilling, and yeah, I really liked it. Also the atmosphere. What I won't do so much or too much is comparing the books to the movies, because it's just two different shoes here. But yeah, let's get started. On place number 8, my least favorite Harry Potter movie is Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, which was the 4th movie, and I gave it a 7 out of 10. I think it's a good movie. I still get value out of it. But this is one of the only exceptions where I kinda relate to the books, because they left out a lot of stuff from the books. And this one kind of felt off compared to all the other movies. And what I liked about The Goblet of Fire were the last 20 minutes. They were amazing, really exciting. I won't give away anything, by the way, here in this episode, so you can watch this without me spoiling anything for you, and you can still enjoy the movies. So I won't get into details too much, but I love the ending of The Goblet of Fire. What I didn't like about this movie were especially the characters. They felt a bit off compared to the books or the other movies, especially Dumbledore. Dumbledore always was described as calm and wise and friendly and cunning and witty, and especially calm. And in this book, he is really loud and frantic and aggressive. There's lots of yelling in this movie, and Dumbledore really felt off, unfortunately. Another thing that I didn't like is that they focused on different parts of the books which weren't so important, but they left lots of important stuff, in my opinion, out, especially at the beginning of each book. And almost all movies, you had the Dursleys. It's a family where Harry lives, and they left them out in the 4th movie, which I thought was a shame. And then they emphasized on things like the ball scene, the whole scene where all the students get ready to have this ball where they dance and stuff, and this was a really long scene. And don't get me wrong, I love coming of age movies or romance movies. For instance, Breakfast Club is one of my favorite movies of all time, or I love Notting Hill, so I love these kind of movies. But the love story in Goblet of Fire, or the love stories in Goblet of Fire, felt kind of cringy, more like a Bollywood or a cheap Disney romance high school thing. And this is what I didn't like. Also, the look of the movie. All the other movies, they have different kind of looks, but I enjoy and like them. But this one looked a bit cheaper. The CGI didn't look as good. And again, they were emphasizing on so much stuff. For instance, the Quidditch World Cup at the beginning, they just showed small little things and then left out so much of the action. And the same with the Tri-Magical or the Tri-Wizard tournament at the end. They left so much stuff out. And I think, to be fair here, it's a big book, and they did a good job. I enjoyed it, but it's my last place. And then we come to place number 7, which is Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, which is the 5th book and the longest book. I think the book had over 1,000 pages. And this one I give an 8.5 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. Back in the theater when I came out, I loved it. It was one of my favorite movies, especially because of the atmosphere. It's a bit darker in tone than the other movies. What I loved the most about this movie is the beginning. The whole 25 minutes at the beginning where Harry and Dudley are encountering the Dementors. That's something. The cinematography here is really awesome. This was the first movie directed by David Yates. He directed all the movies from the 5th one on to the last one, so 5, 6, and the 2, 7 movies. And he has such a great feel for cinematography, for atmosphere, for pictures in general. And I really love his art style, the cinematography here. So The Order of the Phoenix is a great movie. Why I put it second to last is just because, again, it's a big book. It has so much to say, and they had to leave out lots of stuff in the movie. And this is not a problem. They focus on the most important part, so it's a great movie, but you just can feel that there is something missing. Sometimes, again, they cut away from the action, or they just mention something. Some characters are popping in and out, and you have the feeling that, okay, this movie should have done should have been a two-part movie as well. But again, other than that, I really liked it. Also, the ending is really exciting in the Ministry, but I won't give away a lot. So next up, place 6 and place 5. For me, it's hard to decide. We have Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. This was the 7th book and the 7th movie, but they decided to put it into 2 parts, which was a great decision. And it's really hard to decide which one I should put 6, part 1 or part 2. So on place number 6, I put Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows part 2, which was a great movie. It's a great ending to an overall arc, an overall story. My favorite part here, it's really hard to say. I think this one is the most serious movie, lots of serious themes. It's the most grown-up movie. It really makes you think about stuff, and it's a tragedy basically, and I really like it. I like the art style. I like how everything turns out. It's really exciting because Harry Potter has to do something in this movie here, and it almost seems like impossible to do, but they managed to write it or show it in the movie where it really clicks and makes sense and it's exciting. So part 2, I give it a 9 out of 10, and you can see where this is going. On place 5, we have Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows part 1, which is the first part of the 7th book, and this one I slightly prefer now because it has more action, more adventure. Harry Potter, Hermione and Ron are the 3 main characters, protagonists in the books and the movies, and they have, again, to solve a big mystery here, to find relics, and they are on the run. They go through London and the countryside, and this is really exciting, and I really like that. It's lots of mysteries to solve here, and again, you feel the sense of adventure. That's why I prefer part 1 to part 2, because part 2 is the ending, and since I was a kid, I didn't like endings because they're always tragic and dark, and everybody's dying, it feels like, and even if it has a happy ending, all the time as a kid in last parts of trilogies or books or whatever, I was sitting there and kind of slightly depressed. And again, Harry Potter 7 part 2 is a great ending, I love it, but part 1 I prefer for the adventure. Now on place number 4, we have Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, which in the US is known as Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. I give this a 9 out of 10. This is the first Harry Potter movie based on the first book, and it was directed by Chris Columbus. The music is from John Williams, and you really can tell it's a classic movie. It feels like a classic movie. It introduces us to Harry Potter, to all the other characters, to this magical world which coexists to our world. It introduces us to the school, Hogwarts, and it's really exciting. It's basically the start, and it's really innocent. That's what I love it so much. That's why I put it up so high, because of John Williams' music, because of the director and the sense for movie making, classic movie making, which is awesome. And again, it's so cute and innocent, and it's a family movie, and I like it. On place 3, we have Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, which also was directed by Chris Columbus, also has the music of John Williams, and it's a direct sequel when it comes to atmosphere-wise. The first 2 movies feel kind of similar. Again, it's the same director, and I really like it. In both, by the way, you have John Cleese as Nearless Headless Nick, which is a ghost character, which is really cool and funny. And yeah, I prefer the second one slightly more than the first one, just because of the mystery aspect. Again, I love Agatha Christie, I love Miss Marple, I love the British murder mystery stories, the whodunit stories, and in Chamber of Secrets, Harry, Hermione and Ron have to solve a mystery again, a big one this time, a bit bigger than in the first, I guess, but yeah, it's like the enemy's right under their nose, and it's, yeah, a really exciting movie. The atmosphere is a bit more closer, it's a bit more exciting than the first one, but I love both. I give Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets also a 9 out of 10, and this is my place 3. Now we come to place number 2, and it's the 6th movie. It's Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, and this one is just awesome. I really love it. I enjoy it. I love, again, it's David Yates as the director. The atmosphere is great. This movie kind of combines perfectly these humorous, innocent Hogwarts school moments. It's the last movie where you have this kind of, the first half has these moments, but the more the movie progresses, you more go into darker, more tragic themes, and into more, again, mysteries you have to solve. And this is a really great movie. It combines this perfectly, the first Harry Potter movies and the later ones. And again, it's close to perfect. I give this a 9.5 out of 10. It's a close to perfect movie in my opinion. so tragic without giving away too much, but also funny and hilarious. It's just a great movie overall. My favorite scene in The Half-Blood Prince, that's the other movie where they left out the Dursleys. The Dursleys, again, the family of Harry Potter where he lives, not his family, but the family where he lives, his aunt and uncle and cousin. And they left him out, which wasn't that bad. It was okay. But my favorite scene, I think the ending is really awesome. I think when Harry Potter and Dumbledore is the head of Hogwarts, the head of the school, and they try to find these relics, and they go into this cave, and this is, without giving away any more, this is my favorite scene in the books. When I read this back then, the hair in the back of my head was standing up, and the same when I came out of the theater, I was like, they did a great job to put this book onto the screen. The same feeling that you have when you read it, the same atmosphere that you create in your mind, they put it on canvas, or in this case on the screen. And I really love The Half-Blood Prince, a close to perfect movie. So many more awesome scenes in here, but I want to keep it fairly brief here. So what's place number 1? It's the third movie, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. It's my favorite book, and it's also my favorite movie. And again, it all comes down to cinematography, atmosphere, story, and characters. This is always something, if this clicks, I love the movie. And this one I give a 10 out of 10. It's the only 10 out of 10 here in this list. But you can see we had everything from 7 to 10. And it's a great series. But why do I love Prisoner of Azkaban so much? It's the theme, the excitement. It has the most mystery, the most twists and turns, I feel. There were so many moments where you're like, wow, what's happening? And you want to find out what happens next. And I love the whole beginning. Harry Potter, all the Harry Potter movies and books start at the Dursleys, and the beginning where Harry Potter's aunt comes. There's like this theme going on with diversity, acceptance, which they had throughout the whole books and movies. And this is something really heartwarming, and really, it chokes you up a little bit also. And what I love the most about Prisoner of Azkaban also is the atmosphere. It's the first one where they got a bit darker in tone, which I really loved. And they had lots of monster action, lots of monsters without giving away anything, which I loved. I loved the ending especially. And again, the sense of suspense and mystery is the best here. And cinematography-wise, it has great shots. It's a great combination of practical effects and CGI. I feel like Prisoner of Azkaban has the most practical effects, which you can tell. The more progressed 4, 5, 6, 7 and so on, the more CGI they used. The only one where I didn't like the CGI was Goblet of Fire. There it looked a bit cheaper, but in all the other ones it was great. But in this one they combine practical effects and CGI perfectly almost, which I like. And again, it's so gloomy and dark and eerie and suspenseful, mysterious, and that's why I love The Prisoner of Azkaban. So this is my top 10 here. You can see Goblet of Fire on the last place, then Order of the Phoenix, then we have Deathly Hallows Part 2, followed by Deathly Hallows Part 1. We have The Philosopher's Stone, Chamber of Secrets, Half-Blood Prince, and The Prisoner of Azkaban. My book ranking would be a bit different, but this would be maybe in a different episode here. So this is my ranking list of the Harry Potter movies. I really enjoyed watching them. Again, it was the first time for my daughter to watch them in one session. I think it took us a week, like 8 days, 9 days, something like that. We tried to watch one movie every evening while we had dinner, and yeah, we had a blast watching them. For me, again, I think it was the 5th, 6th, 7th time for some movies that I watched these. I really enjoy them. I try to watch them every other year, every couple of years, because I really enjoy the Harry Potter movies. Before I leave you here, I would love to find out what is your ranking of the Harry Potter movies, or at least maybe let me know which is your favorite, which did you really enjoy. Would you agree with the Goblet of Fire? Would you say that's your least favorite one as well? This always interests me, so please take the time and share it. I would really appreciate that. But for now, I'll leave you. I really hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.